of keywords whispering through the trees. Campaigns grow like a savannah breeze in the dance of data. Our sales grow. Here we optimize Amazon PPC. Welcome to the show.
Helps to not be muted. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone out there in Dear Badger Nation. Echoes of Keywords, that song that you just heard, we commissioned to have a real professional singer create about a year ago. And it was just sitting in our Google Drive. And I thought that it was the perfect occasion to release it as a song here. To be absolutely fantastic, to help celebrate version 3 of Ad Badger, a year of new features for the Badger Den, go over a couple different ways to grow in 2025, address some of the issues that I believe people are having. I'll probably play that song again by the end of this call because it is such a good one. Let me go ahead and share my screen here really quick. Quick tech check. Today I'm feeling blank about Amazon. What I would say to me today, I feel pretty fired up about marketing on Amazon for a couple different reasons. There's been a lot of pressure, I think, put on Amazon sellers since 2024, and we'll get into that, but I am feeling a bit fired up, which is good. And let's start with a little bit about me, in case you're new to me and Ad Badger. I've been working in the world of Amazon PPC now for almost 10 years. In 2017, I started Ad Badger, which is a piece of Amazon PPC software, where we have about 1,500 marketplaces. We automate about 1 million bids a day. I'm part of a core community lead facilitator. I'm a lead facilitator in Core Community, which is an Amazon marketing group where we have about 75 serious sellers and marketers who show up. We have a weekly mastermind there. And I also am the president of SearchScientist.com, which is a Google Ads agency that's been in business for 15 years, where we provide SEO, PPC, and other digital marketing related services. And the thing that I absolutely love, the reason why I show up every Thursday to record and every Friday host a office hours on Amazon advertising, and the same reason why I do everything that I do, I am really a huge fan of technical digital marketing. I really do have an abundance mindset. I strongly do believe the more I can help and mentor people, the more success will come my way. So hence these badgers around the campfire, sharing stories of Amazon PPC greatness. A little personal note about me. I am indeed classically trained. I'm a member of Austin Classical Guitar Chamber Ensemble, something that I absolutely love. If you're in Austin, come hear the Austin Classical Guitar Community Ensemble. It's a great time. And of course, if you're interested in Amazon advertising and you're hearing us for the first time, join me every Friday. Every Friday, I release an episode of the Amazon PPC podcast, the PPC Den. And what's cool about that is I'll be sharing my latest learnings, explorations in the world of Amazon PPC. It's changed a lot since I started with it. And I'm constantly learning from my friends in the industry, constantly learning and exploring by talking to clients, talking to our team here, poking around, trying to figure out all the new bells and whistles. But more than that, trying to distill them down into something actionable and meaningful. Now, it's 2025. And if you followed me for any amount of time, you know that I am a big believer that hacks, shortcuts will never provide long-term lasting success. I really do believe that mental models and principles are the valuable pieces always. So in this presentation, I'm going to lay out 3 mental models that I think are really, really helpful. The things that I see that give success to brands on a consistent basis. I'm going to be weaving this into some of the new advancements for Ad Badger customers as well. So I would say in 2024, there was a really big wake-up call for a lot of Amazon sellers, a lot of people that did marketing on Amazon. I would say that when I first really got serious about Amazon advertising in like 2015, then 2017 started Ad Badger, and then 2020 all the way up to 2025, it's changed a lot. And I would say it's more competitive all around. If you are a service provider and you provide services for brands, your life has gotten more competitive and a bit harder, really starting in 2024. If you are a seller, of course, your life has gotten harder every single year as competition rises, as CPCs go up, as Amazon is always looking to trim off some of your profit. And the thing that I'll say here is that 2017 to 2023, it was almost always up. It was very normal for every single brand that I worked with to have an up year compared to previous. So most people were experiencing year over year progress, which was fantastic. I would say 2024 was the first year that people started to get really frustrated with Amazon advertising, where maybe if you're just trying to launch a side hustle product in your spare time and you weren't all in on Amazon, you might have a really hard time starting in 2024. So what does that mean? That means in 2025, a lot of that reckoning, I think, came in as we have increased competition, shrinking profit, painful rising CPCs. So way back in 2017, you had early mover advantage for several years. 2020 to 2023, you had this sort of COVID, post-COVID e-com boost. And then in 2024, it all sort of came to a halt. Now, periodically, I will release a project called the ACOS Weather Report, where basically I look at all the data that we have from our marketplaces, and I try to distill some trends, some average CPCs, some average conversion rates, average sales per day per marketplace. I try to pull out a lot of these trends so that listeners of the show can balance themselves out, to where they are to what the overall trend is from about 1% of Amazon marketplaces. So what does this all mean? And what did I notice recently? I would say in general, Q2 of 2025 has had a rough start. And this has really shaped some of the things that we've been building here. So if we just look at 2025 Q2 compared to maybe last month of Q1. So if we look at April 1st to 7th compared to the month of March, what do we get? I want to start by analyzing 3 separate metrics. The first is revenue per click, then cost per click, then ACOS. So revenue per click, of course, one of my favorite metrics, has been for years. Revenue per click is just how much revenue you generated divided by the amount of clicks that you got. It perfectly balances with CPC, which is how much you spent divided by all the clicks that you got. Now, the revenue per click for the first week of April was $3.54. Pretty cool, right? That means every time somebody got a click, on average, they generated $3.54 in revenue. Fantastic. However, in the month of March, it was $3.70. That's a decline of about 4%. The CPC was $105 on April 7th, which is actually good, which is actually down from the month of March, excuse me, where it was $187. The ACOS for the first week of April, 29%, and in the month of March, 28.95. So ACOS went up about 1.76. Revenue per click went down 4.3. CPC went down a little bit. So this is not great, right? Ideally, revenue per click goes up, CPC goes down, ACOS goes down. If I also look at the average sales per day, 905 sales per day per marketplace. If I compare that to the month of March, 926, that's a 2.26% decline. So in general, ACOS, wrong direction. Revenue per click, wrong direction. Sales per day, wrong direction. Everything went in the wrong direction in the first week of April. And it's sort of a global trend that we've seen for a while here. And if you tune into the news, you see a lot of doom and gloom. You see consumer confidence is sliding as Americans view financial futures, view their financial futures slump to a 12-year low, worried about tariffs, We saw the stock market happen. There's economic blackout days where shoppers are boycotting Amazon. Sales forecasts lag on Amazon. That's from February. I will say that the whole thing reminds me a bit of 2020. And at that time, there was a really great lesson from the 1930s, Post versus Kellogg's. And I was freshening up this presentation, and I wanted to pull something up here. It was like the 1920s, 1930s in the US, Post and Kellogg's, relatively equal market share. And during the Great Depression, Post reduced marketing efforts, pulled back a lot, which was a really sharp, prudent thing to do. Hey, our conversion rates are down, our overall sales are down. Let's decrease marketing accordingly as well. Let's build up our war chest. Let's not spend as much, which I think is a fair short-term move. Kellogg's, on the other hand, doubled down on advertising, doubled down on marketing, and sort of leaned into it, pushed back against it. And over the course of the Great Depression, increased their profits about 30%. And it was really interesting to sort of be reminded of that. Meaning, if you have had poor sales on Amazon, or if you've been struggling with ACOS or total sales, or you've been working with that, it's an indicator to actually invest more time to break through that wall. Because if you have these problems, your competitors have these problems, and digital marketing is just a game of chess, right? You're trying to figure out how to make the right moves, how to get ahead. And one major roadblock that I see when people want to get really into Amazon marketing and want to debug and diagnose why they have situations that they have is that there's actually too much Amazon marketing news. There's too many changes. It changes so much all the time. It seems like every time you blink, there's a new update to the Amazon marketing screen. Not only that, when you combine that with true complexity, like Amazon advertising is a little complex. It's very normal to have 50 campaigns for 2 products. So it's really hard to know what to do and when. So I wanted to propose something here to the good people out there in Badger Nation. I'm going to call it a MAP. And MAP is an acronym that came up when I was reflecting on what the most successful brands do. So what would I say the most successful brands do? How do the most successful brands get ahead? The most successful brands that I know are doing it quietly. That's the first thing that I'll say. I would say 90% of what they're doing is pure fundamentals. They are not constantly looking for the hottest, latest thing and just lily padding, jumping to the latest thing. They do incorporate new things, but they're not doing it just based off what they saw on LinkedIn any one particular day. They also are really good at setting up systems. So when they hear news or when they hear strategy, they're thinking, how do I incorporate this into my overall Amazon marketing system? In addition, they have structured professional development. They actually get outside perspectives to improve campaign performance, whether that be somebody in-house that isn't normally in the campaigns, they're going in, they're tapping them for an extra set of eyes, or they're going outward and they're trying to find people to audit their campaigns. Getting that outside perspective, I feel like, is very important. I want to spend a little bit of time on M, metrics that matter. So I would say this M in this map, metrics that matter, are really metrics to help you make better decisions in your PPC. And the reason why this is so important now is because Amazon has become more competitive. It has become more complex over the years. And as a result, you need more data at your fingertips. And one of the things that's been true for a very long time is that Amazon makes it so that different data points are very far apart from one another. So for example, you have same SKU sales and other SKU sales, which only exist in a downloaded report. You have profitability, which only exists in some places. So we really wanted to combine a lot of these metrics in a really easy to use place inside AdBadger. And we really asked the question, which was, what metrics do people need to make better decisions? And then the A is, what actions should you take once you actually have those metrics? And what is the most efficient way to do those actions? And finally, do you have trusted resources that provide audits, refine strategy, or fill in any gaps? And I want to say something really important here. This truly is something that I see the most successful brands do. They have a place to sync with their peers, their network, their friends, And, to use a trendy word, they use dark social, meaning they're not going, it's escaped from social media where they do have real conversations about, hey, I'm struggling with this. How did you solve this? Oh, that's a really good question. Last month I did the same thing. I did this to solve it. That kind of back and forth is really, really powerful. So metrics, action, partners, this MAP acronym, and we'll break this down. It should make Amazon less overwhelming. It should slow the game down a bit. It simplifies the ACoS profit connection, which we'll get into. It reduces analysis paralysis, and it helps improve results. So let's get to some of these things. So metrics that matter. In 2017, I started AdBadger, empty office here in Austin. And after 9 years of doing PPC services, I started AdBadger. And for those 9 years, I almost never looked at profitability. I looked at ROAS, I looked at top of funnel, I looked at all these different PPC metrics to describe the PPC campaigns, which is fine. And then I started AdBadger. And one thing that I noticed, this is an old picture, shout out to Trace, way back in 2017. The one thing that I noticed was that over time, and I would say it hit ahead in 2024, that purely tracking ACoS, conversion rate of the campaigns, spend of the campaigns, revenue of the campaigns was clearly not enough anymore. And I think it's been that way for a while, but it really came to a head in 2024 for me, where to survive on the roller coaster of PPC, you really need deeper metrics. So in AdBadger version 3, we basically answered this question, which was, how do I branch out from just my PPC metrics in a really meaningful way that can make my PPC better? So how do I not get distracted by other metrics, but instead, how do I use product level metrics, aggregated ad data, total ACoS per product, traffic and sessions, profits data? And we have 4 dashboards now for sellers that I think will shine a spotlight on the factors that can help you do traffic sculpting, which is basically a way of saying, how do I funnel my spend towards my most profitable products with my most profitable keywords and all of these connections? So we need strong data in order to do traffic sculpting. So much of PPC is just casting a wide net, seeing what converts the best, seeing what gives you the most profitability, and then doubling down on it. So here's one problem. One product can live in 5 different ad groups. You have an auto sponsor product, you have an auto low bid, you have a catch-all auto, you have manual ranking campaigns, you have discovery campaigns. So a solution would be sum all of this ad performance across my entire account and put it in one spot for me. Now, we've had this aggregated product metrics for a very, very long time. We've probably had it now since 2021, where it just lists your individual products, how much you spent on it, and how many ad sales you got from it. And that general information here. One recent change that we made was we now list how many sales you got from that product, and then the same SKU sales and other SKU sales. This is one of the most misunderstood things, I think, in the world of Amazon PPC, where people look at their advertising performance for a particular product, and they are unaware, or maybe they're disregarding the fact that the sales that you see for like a keyword in Amazon advertising is for the product that they clicked on and any other product that you have. So breaking out same SKU sales and other SKU sales is something we did a couple months ago. And it just allows users a way to identify, hey, is this product generating a lot of clicks, but then they're buying something else? This sort of, are they bouncing off this product and buying something else? You can see here in this sort of demo account that we put it at 23,000 in ad sales. Only 3,000 of it was for the same SKU. 20,000 was for other SKUs. So we use this as a theme across a couple of these dashboards here to sort of indicate something very common that costs sellers a lot of money, but isn't often addressed. So if you have a product that gets a lot of clicks, but not a lot of same SKU sales, people leave it and they go buy something else, that's something to be aware of. And you need metrics to really understand this. So then what I can do is I can take that product and I can go into my ad campaigns. And the first thing that I'll notice about these ad campaigns is that it performs very differently in different ad groups. So when I look at this and I filter just for that one product, I can see everywhere it was broken out. So I see the $23,000 in ad sales, but I see in some places it has a 16% ACoS. Other places it has a high volume of 32%. And then in some places it has a 60% ACoS. I can dig in here and investigate and be sure that that is intentional. Why do I only have a 10% conversion rate here? Why do I have a 60% ACOS here? Should I potentially do something about this ad group that it's in? Should I funnel this traffic elsewhere in my account? So already we have a really good workflow. Go and look at your aggregated advertising data, pivot to your individual ad data so that you can get a glimpse of it. And one thing that I really like to look out for is products that have very low same SKU sales and get a lot of other SKU sales, because it indicates a major issue that people often don't see. And you'll see in just a second. So just recapping this workflow: evaluate ad groups where a product has a high ACOS, probably pause it where it's not performing. Evaluate where a product has high other SKU sales and low same SKU sales. You can think of this as like a bounced product view, where they bounced off the product and they purchased something else. So if shoppers are landing on a product and then leaving, that's a mismatch of sort of the intent. Maybe the targeting isn't right. Maybe the product isn't as good as the other product that you have, and you should just serve ads to that other product. Funnel the traffic to products that have a high amount of same SKU sales. But the truth is, this is kind of incomplete. We actually need a little bit more data. So we added about 26 new metrics to traffic and sessions, and we added about 20 or so to the profits area. So inside traffic and sessions, you now get unit session percentage over time, which is quite helpful. Unit session percentage, it goes a little bit deeper than just pure conversion rate, which we've had for a while. Unit session percentage, I think everyone knows this, as it's basically like the product's conversion rate as opposed to like an ad conversion rate. But a unit session percentage is if 3 out of 10 customers buy one unit, that's a 30% conversion rate. But if 2 of those customers buy 2 units each, the unit session percentage is now 50%. So that's 5 products from 10 sort of sessions there, right? So you can now track unit session percentage. And how is this relevant to this sort of product level analysis is because it will tell me which products should really be advertised and which ones should not. So what I can do here is I can evaluate which product has a better unit session percentage and better same SKU sales. When you put both of these together, you generally get a better converting account. You get a more profitable account, which we'll see in a second here. So I can track this unit session percentage. And there's typically a range for my products. Some products have a 30% unit session percentage. Some have a 5% unit session percentage. And you do want to put your best foot forward. And until now in Ad Badger, you actually couldn't get this information for your account. We've just added it. Now, what's really powerful is to take it one step further. So you have ad performance, you have same SKU sales, other SKU sales, you have unit session percentage per product. The thing that is really impactful here when we talk about traffic sculpting and sending your traffic in the right place is actually profitability analysis. So this is a anonymized demo account here that we're looking at, but the data that is underneath it is actually very, very similar to a real account. So what do we see here? We're now able to track total sales and net profit. And for that product that had a lot of other SKU sales, meaning people were landing on the product, leaving, buying something else from you. So it had very few same SKU sales. It had a lot of other SKU sales. That product's profitability has almost never been profitable any single month. So we now have profitability in here. We have cost of goods, we have your fees, you have your refunds, you have your coupons, you have all the things that are taken out of your revenue. We now have inside Ad Badger, which is so helpful to have right next to your PPC tool. Because now you can do sort of this analysis. You can see these trends like, oh, this product has really low same SKU sales. It has a lot of other SKU sales. Let me check out the profitability of this. In the sampling that I did, most products that have low same SKU sales, high other SKU sales, have negative profit. So we're actually looking at a product that was negative almost every single month. They were only slightly profitable in December. Now, what's really cool about this is because I can now finally answer the question, did I increase ad spend on this product? Did I, who cares about ranking? Did I actually get more profit from it? Of course, ranking is incredibly important, as it's a precursor of sales and profit, of course. But you can now see total sales for a product that's paid and organic, total sales for a product. How much did I spend on the product? And there are some moments in this particular demo account where the ad spend was greater than the total sales for that product, which, is an indicator that, hey, if you look at the ad sales, that includes other SKUs. So if this had so many other SKU sales, it was actually, you couldn't tell that we were actually spending more on the product than it was actually generating totally. So we had negative profit along the line. And you can sort of see here that the ad spend for this product was going up and up and up. And actually the net profit kept going down. Why? Because it was generating a lot of other SKU sales. Imagine if this ad spend went towards the things with same SKU sales, went towards the thing that was actually being purchased. So one of my favorite new parts of Ad Badger is to sort of get many levels deeper into product performance. It answers so many questions. Should I spend more on a product? I don't know. Let's go ahead and look at ad spend next to ad sales and determine it. Can we actually afford it? Which variation should get the most ad spend? You can evaluate which one had the best unit session percentage, dial that in. You can evaluate which one has weak same SKU sales and move the ad spend towards product with high same SKU sales. It's one of the easiest things to sort of balance PPC strategy, profitability. You can finally answer questions. Did spending more on a product lead to more net profit? And what's actually interesting about this demo account is that you can see the net profit was going up over time, which is fantastic. It was from the other products. So imagine if we were actually spending the money on the products that were actually generating the profit. Now, because PPC data and profits data is much more integrated inside Ad Badger, you're able to make these decisions much, much more, which is incredibly exciting. That one gets me amped up. Action. The action. So we just talked about all different kinds of stuff, just getting metrics, doing digging in a much more effective way. And I would say, the bridge from profit information into getting more profit, you have this mechanism of ACoS, right? So profit into advertising account. There's no profit for an individual keyword. What you do get is ACoS. And I want to focus on the left side here, is that people generally have a high ACoS, not because of those pesky keywords that have an ACoS of 80, 90, 100%. Like, yes, those have a high ACoS individually, but usually an account has a high ACoS because of spend on non-converting terms. If an account had no non-converting terms, you'd have a great ACoS. So I'm dead set on helping people reduce their non-converting spend, because I think it doesn't get talked enough about. And I think it's one of the easiest things. I see accounts with thousands of dollars of non-converting spend. And if we can get rid of half of that and just send it over to things that do convert, imagine what that does to your campaigns. There's very, very few things that increase revenue and reduce ACoS. Reducing spend on non-converting terms is the thing. So inside Ad Badger, we track this. So we track non-converting spend. So imagine you go into Amazon and you download a search term report, filter for orders equals 0. You sometimes see 50, 60, 70% of your budget going towards things without orders. And the thing that I'll say is this doesn't get calculated enough. I think it's one of the most important things to track on a regular basis. So inside of Ad Badger, we, of course, added a couple of weeks ago this non-converting spend dashboard. It's one of my favorite things to just sort of keep tabs on how much you're spending and then how much you're spending on stuff without orders, specifically search terms without orders. And I would say some good accounts that I see are in the 20s, 30s, 40s, but I do see accounts in the 60s and 70s, right? So this non-converting spend figure. And for a long time, we've had lots of great tools to do this quickly, like our poor performers area, where you can just see suggestions of things to pause and you can just flick them off right there. We can also help you find misbehaving keywords that had an ACoS increase, which I really love. So a couple of weeks ago, we added time comparison, where basically now you can look at all of your campaigns or keywords and so on and so forth for like last 30 days compared to previous period, as an example. So you can then see Specifically, show me my things where there was an ACOS increase. So I can filter for my campaigns and say, hey, show me the campaigns that only had an ACOS increase. In fact, I love this new sample workflow because it allows you to say, show me all of my keywords which had an ACOS increase of 10 points or more in the last 30 days. So I can lower my bid 15% on them and only show me keywords in a certain portfolio with the word seasonal in it. So it's like all of these amazing buckets of data, all of these filters that you can set up is so incredibly important that the workflow just goes really fast. So again, imagine using that profitability data that we just got previously. And then we come over here and we identify where the search terms have a high ACOS, where the keywords have had an ACOS increase, to see the products individually where they were converting well with a low ACOS, or where they were converting poorly with a high ACOS, or where they were not converting at all. Being able to go in here and with just a couple of clicks of a button, activate these saved filters and find the data that you need, do a bulk action. It's one of my favorite things. There are people that use AdBadger and they don't use any automations. They just they want to do everything manual, and they want to just get in there and have all these saved filters and do all these bulk actions manually. So we dedicate a lot of time to making sure that is really smooth for them. And of course, we have plenty of people that do like to automate as well. This has been around. This is one of AdBadger's oldest features, which is just a search term negative keyword finder. We call it the negative keyword nightly hunt, just because the Badger goes out there and hunts all that wasted spend for you. And again, this is just classic. When a search term gets over 35 in spend, or when a search term gets over 20 in spend, turn it into a negative keyword. And of course, your look back window is essentially infinite for as long as you've been an AdBadger customer. Now, of course, if you've known me for any amount of time, you know that most search terms that are wasting spend never hit $25 in spend in a month, never hit 35 in spend in a month. So that's why you need a really long look back window. But in addition, if you look here, it's like 1 click, no sales, 2 clicks, no sales, 1 click, no sales. It goes on forever. So I've been banging on the drum of n-gram analysis for such a long time. And both of these terms, what do I see here? Well, they both have the word laundry in it. So imagine if I'm able to evaluate every single search term with the word laundry in it, and maybe laundry appears in like 50 different search terms. So I have 50 individual search terms that never get an order. I have a lot of confidence in negating all of these words with laundry. It allows me to add a lot more confidence towards what it is that I'm doing, which is why I absolutely love our n-gram analyzer inside of our tool. I was doing this with a spreadsheet for years until we put inside AdBadger, and it just allows you a way to see your 1 grams, your 2 grams. So I have this word man, spent $100 without a sale. Then I can go in there and I can actually begin to see. It's like, okay, man cave, furniture, man cave, so on and so forth. And I can see everywhere that the word man appears. I never get a conversion, allowing me to take some action on all of these. On $100 of spend, you repeat this 2-3 times, you've just saved $300 for a 30-day time frame. I also love that inside AdBadger, when you do it in here, you can pull a year's worth of search term analysis or more to do your n-gram analysis. So it adds even more data to this whole thing. And of course, you can just do it right from AdBadger. You can block these terms right from AdBadger. It's great. I recently got this note, so shout out to this person who sent this to me. I finally got a chance to deep dive the n-gram analysis last night and uncovered a lot of actionable data to cut waste. It's music to my ears, friend. Caught the podcast I shared. Great timing. Inspired a second round of analysis and got even more insight. Shout out to the person who sent this to me. Absolutely love Badger Nation out there. This person had the reaction that I absolutely loved. N-gram tool is awesome. Wow, it's like I've never seen my search terms before. That's music to my ears for sure. And of course, the last action to get better insight from your search terms, we have the search term duplicate hunter. We've had it for a while. But again, what it allows you to do is it allows you to zero in on a single word and then combine all that data. So I can see for this particular search term, it's doing great. I spent almost 10 grand on it. I got 30 grand in sales from it. Fantastic, right? If I look through my search terms, there's actually a couple of places where it has like 120% ACOS that I should probably pause so that it can funnel towards the other places where it's actually doing phenomenal. Again, all these little things add up a lot. Again, Traffic sculpting. We talked about traffic sculpting with products. Now we're traffic sculpting with our search terms. When you do both of these, it is the easiest way to reduce non-converting spend and funnel that spend towards things that do get sales and do generate profits. And as part of AdBadger version 3, something that I'm really excited about, I've always been very service minded, but we're expanding the way that AdBadger works with brands, so that we can help people knock out roadblocks faster and level up their skills. I don't know about y'all, but when I talk to sellers, this is what they tell me. Man, I logged into LinkedIn and I saw a whole bunch of this stuff. If you're not using AMC, you're missing out on thousands of sales. If you're not doing day parting this way, you're missing out on thousands of sales. Here's the hidden truth. If you're not using audiences, if use this custom GPT and stop wasting money and like all these different things, it is an overwhelming amount of information. And every single piece of news is framed to be monumentous. And I will say that the most successful brands understand what is signal and they understand what is noise. And part of the way that they do that is that they have peers from other companies, from friends, colleagues. They have some kind of trusted circle that they can talk to. But if they don't, we have those conversations with them. We're not trying to sell them anything. It's really just a way for us to talk to our customers in a one-on-one way and provide some guidance. So someone to basically answer these questions like, what is the best way to grow this quarter? How can we grow 10%? What are our roadblocks? Out of all the news that's come out, what should we actually be doing about it? Those kinds of things are slow and steady, grounded conversations that I see a lot of the most successful brands do. So we wanted to facilitate this for all AdBadger customers. So I love the name AdBadger On Demand, where you can just ask for things in an as it comes up for you manner. You can raise your hand, drop in for a one-on-one experience with the AdBadger team, who will actually get to work, roll up their sleeves, log into your Amazon account, like actually do stuff with you, do some market research. So there's a whole slew of things that AdBadger customers can ask for with AdBadger On Demand. Probably the most popular one that we're getting right now is, hey, AdBadger, can I get access to Amazon Marketing Cloud? Can you help me create some audiences for Amazon Marketing Cloud? We're doing that a lot right now for our customers. So if you are interested into Amazon Marketing Cloud, you need help, you need access, just let us know. If you want a quick audit of your campaign, of your account, you want someone to drop in and talk about it with you, let us know. If you want to ask a ambiguous question like, hey, what would it take for us to grow 10%? Like, what do you see in our account? What do you see in our market? How can we figure this out? Are there new features of Amazon? What's this competitor doing? Can you please bulk create 100 campaigns for me? Hey, can we talk coupon strategy? Whatever it is, our team has seen it and we would love to help. I really do want every single AdBadger customer to always know their next move, to never wonder what their next move is, to have a little bit extra confidence with what their next move is. Shout out to this person who said AdBadger is powerful and user-friendly. After just a month, I'm seeing consistent improvements in my campaigns. The best part, the support. Shout out to all of Badger Nation who helps the good people out there in the Badger Den move things forward. So absolutely love it. I wanted to finish up here by talking about the technical leap that is version 3. And it's really a year of version 3. It's sort of a change in AdBadger's direction, I would say, as a company. I really wanted to set the stage for more features, more faster, right? I've always had my brain buzzing with features. I see new ideas in every single interaction that I have. I talk to someone, they say a pain point, and I'm like, I would love to solve that in our tool. I attend a webinar, I'm like, I would love to auto-generate that report that someone pieced together from all these spreadsheets. There's so many things that I would want to do that I was never able to truly grab. And then I met our dear CTO, shout out Nick. And years ago, he started a multi-year improvement project to the technical foundation that AdBadger lives on. And it's been unreal. The amount of bugs that get reported has fallen to almost nothing. It's actually exceptional. And if you used Ad Badger in 2017, 2018, 2019, the experience then versus the experience today is really night and day. It's been fantastic. We're able to build more and build faster, and that sort of has just started with version 3. Version 3.0 is when that technical foundation has been realized. So the magic isn't really version 3.0. It's what's coming in 3.1 and 3.2 and 3.3 and beyond. I do believe that the speed at which we'll be able to build and deliver more value faster is really exciting. Some of the things that we have in store for the next few weeks and months: placement bid manager to dial in your ad placements, I'm very excited about. Marketplace intelligence using share of voice and search query data, which I'm very excited about. Automating more and more things in different ways, I'm really excited about. So I'm really stoked on the future of Ad Badger. And if you are an existing customer, guess what? You get it all for free. We've never increased pricing for any existing customer. We don't plan on starting it now. So you'll continue to get all these features included in whatever price you've been paying, and continue to get the one-on-one support and audits and anything else you need. Continue to get Friday office hours. And for new customers, to help celebrate version 3.0, wanted to put a little time-sensitive thing in here. We do one Black Friday sale a year, but we decided to do one here in April. So go ahead and get 15% off a new annual, semi-annual, or quarterly subscription if you sign up by May 1st. You will also get a credit for Amazon Marketing Cloud creation and the audience for added to cart but didn't purchase created for you. Or you can use it for a campaign order from Team Badger, valued at $150. Basically, some time in the account. Now, you don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right thing. And I really try to create an experience with Ad Badger that being an Ad Badger customer is the right thing for your business. So with Ad Badger 3.0, it gives you the right metrics. It helps you take the right actions with the right people. So head on over to adbadger.com, hit request demo, and I will see you in the Badger Den. Have a good one, everyone. We are going to fade out with my new jam. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time here in the Badger Den.
Echoes of keywords whispering through the trees. Campaigns grow like a savanna breeze. In the dance of data, our sales grow. Here we optimize Amazon PPC. Welcome to the show.